Ted, tell me what your first week in office, what are the things you do?
Well, on the very first day in office, I had pledged to do 5 things. The first thing I intend to do is to rescind every single illegal and unconstitutional executive action taken by President Obama.
Love that.
And Bush? And Bush?
Sure, although Obama will take a good chunk of the day.
Yes. All right. Okay.
The second thing that I intend to do is instruct the United States Department of Justice to open an investigation into Planned Parenthood, into these horrific videos, and to prosecute any and all criminal conduct by that organization and its employees. The third thing I intend to do on the first day in office is instruct the Department of Justice, the IRS, and every federal agency that the persecution of religious liberty ends today. Instead of the federal government violating and persecuting our religious liberty, the federal government will defend the Bill of Rights and our religious liberty. The fourth thing I intend to do on the first day in office is rip to shreds this catastrophic Iranian nuclear deal, which is the single gravest national security threat facing America. And the fifth thing I intend to do in office on the first day in office is begin the process of moving the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, the once and eternal capital of Israel.
I've heard people say that that's not a big deal. To me, that is a huge deal. Explain why that's so important.
Well, it is a huge deal because Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and we refuse to put our embassy there in an effort to nod to the Arab countries in the Middle East that dispute Israel's right to exist. And it is simply giving in to the radical Islamists who want to destroy Israel. And under federal law, Congress passed a law providing that the embassy should be moved to Jerusalem, but every president has issued a waiver, and the law has a presidential waiver built into it. And here's one thing that I think is really striking on this point. Many presidential candidates, both Republican and Democrats, have made the same promise I did, which is to move the embassy to Jerusalem. And to a person, when they get to the White House, their national security teams tell them, well, gosh, a bunch of the other folks in the Middle East will be really mad at you if you do that. And they don't follow through. And Glenn, Pat, I think the single biggest difference between me and the other very fine gentlemen who were standing on that debate stage in Cleveland is that with me, when I tell you I will do something, I'm going to do exactly what I said I would.
I know.
You've proven that.
So let me ask you this, because I know you have to run, but we have Johnny Moore on with us next hour. We had Kayla Mueller, a U.S. aid worker who was held as a sex slave by al-Baghdadi in just a horrific thing. It's clear the administration knew that this was, there's no way they didn't know this was happening. Al-Baghdadi did it for a reason. We haven't really said anything about it. Meantime, Johnny Moore, I'm raising money right now to try to get the Christians out of the Middle East, get them out of that situation and come into the United States. The United States of America has blocked anybody coming in as Christian from the Middle East. They are not accepting them. We have Mexico that will accept them. We have Poland that will accept them. I think we have Latvia that will accept them. We won't accept them. Will you as president stand up for the Christians and the Muslims that aren't Muslim enough and the homosexuals that are being killed in the Middle East and allow them to come here and stop giving preferential treatment to Muslims?
Absolutely, yes. And we need a president who will call evil by its name. Right now we have a president and administration that refuses to even utter the words radical Islamic terrorism. ISIS is the face of evil. They are crucifying Christians. They are beheading children. They are using rape, forcible rape, as an instrument of terror. And they are murdering Christians, they are murdering Jews, they are murdering other Muslims who don't embrace their radical jihad. And right now, this administration refuses to acknowledge the enemy. Glenn, if I'm elected president, every radical militant across the face of the globe will know, if you join ISIS, if you take up arms and wage jihad against the United States of America, then you are signing your death warrant.